Okay, so Tottenham Hotspur looking for a new manager. There's also plenty of movement activity in the transfer market with that first bonus transfer window closing on Tuesday. Mark McAdam is back, and we've got some new news regarding a potential incoming for Arsenal.
Yeah, huge news for Arsenal fans.
Rodrygo has officially landed at the Emirates Stadium, and in that single moment, the footballing world seemed to tilt slightly on its axis. For Arsenal fans, it was more than just a transfer unveiling, it was the arrival of a superstar who carries with him the aura of the Bernabeu, the brilliance of Brazilian flair, and the experience of conquering Europe with Real Madrid at an age when most players are still finding their way. As the aircraft carrying him from Madrid touched down in London, the anticipation had already reached fever pitch, with thousands of Arsenal fans tracking his every move through flight radar apps, social media updates, and grainy mobile clips from outside Heathrow. The excitement built into hysteria the moment it was confirmed. Rodrygo was headed directly to the Emirates Stadium for his first appearance in red and white. Outside the ground, the scene was unlike anything seen in North London for years. Supporters wrapped in Arsenal scarves, children with posters bearing Rodrygo's name, and even Brazilian flags draped across the barriers showed the magnitude of the moment. Some fans compared it to the unveiling of Mesut Ozil a decade earlier, others drew parallels to the electricity that surrounded Alexis Sanchez when he joined from Barcelona, but many insisted this felt different. This wasn't just another star signing. It was the arrival of a Galactico, a Champions League proven forward in the prime of his career, choosing Arsenal at a time when Mikel Arteta's side is pushing to redefine English football's balance of power. When Rodrygo stepped onto the Emirates pitch, the roar from the stands reverberated around Holloway Road. He smiled, waving to the crowd, draped in the Arsenal scarf, the famous cannon crest gleaming under the floodlights. Cameras flashed, chants of Rodrygo, Rodrygo echoed, and social media platforms crashed under the weight of hashtags celebrating Arsenal's audacity in the transfer market. It was a spectacle, a statement, and an unforgettable moment for every fan in attendance. For the younger supporters, it was the first time they had witnessed Arsenal pull off such a glamorous capture, while for the older generation, it felt like a throwback to the club's days of dominating headlines with world-class talent. But beyond the spectacle, Rodrygo's landing at Arsenal carries layers of significance. His arrival is not just about marketing or shirt sales, though those will inevitably skyrocket. It is about tactical elevation. Under Arteta, Arsenal has already built a fluid, high-energy system with Bukayo Saka dazzling on the right, Gabriel Martinelli terrorizing full-backs on the left, and Martin Odegaard pulling strings in midfield. Yet in recent campaigns, there have been moments when the attack has lacked unpredictability, when the burden on Saka and Martinelli has felt overwhelming, when opponents sitting deep have successfully blunted Arsenal's creativity. Rodrygo changes that dynamic completely. Blessed with pace, technique, and an ability to glide past defenders, he brings a versatility that makes him more than just a winger. He can play wide, he can drift centrally, and he can finish with composure inside the box. His Champions League record speaks for itself, scoring crucial goals in knockout stages against Europe's elite, thriving under pressure, and showcasing a maturity far beyond his years. That pedigree now belongs to Arsenal, and it instantly raises expectations. No longer will the Gunners be viewed as plucky challengers hoping to close the gap on Manchester City. With Rodrygo, they demand to be taken seriously as contenders for every competition they enter. Inside the dressing room, Rodrygo's presence sends a powerful message too. For Saka and Martinelli, having a peer of his caliber to share the front line with not only reduces pressure but fosters competition and growth. For younger talents like Reiss Nelson or Ethan Nwaneri, it sets a benchmark for professionalism and excellence. For seasoned leaders like Odegaard and Declan Rice, it represents the club's unwavering ambition to keep matching their hunger for silverware. Arteta, who has been meticulous in building a squad capable of sustaining long-term success, now has another jewel in his crown, one that gives him tactical flexibility to outthink and outplay even the most stubborn rivals. The wider Premier League audience has also taken note. Overnight, Arsenal's signing of Rodrygo has shifted narratives. Rivals like Chelsea and Manchester United, both desperate to regain relevance, can only look on enviously as Arsenal pulls off a deal of this magnitude. Manchester City, the current benchmark, will undoubtedly remain formidable, but even Pep Guardiola will privately acknowledge that Arsenal's acquisition of a Real Madrid superstar is a sign of their growing power. Pundits across networks have already begun their debates. Can Rodrygo adapt to the Premier League's physicality? Can Arsenal balance their domestic title challenge with European ambitions? Is this the final piece of Arteta's puzzle? Each question only adds to the intrigue and intensity surrounding his arrival. From a cultural perspective, Rodrygo's landing also deepens Arsenal's ties to Brazil, a country that has long provided the Gunners with flair and excitement. From Gilberto Silva, Edu, and Denilson in the Invincibles era, to Gabriel Jesus, Martinelli, and now Rodrygo, the bond between Arsenal and Brazilian talent continues to flourish. His signing amplifies the club's global reach, making Arsenal an even stronger brand in South America and beyond. The Arsenal store, both online and at the Emirates, is expected to sell out of shirts emblazoned with Rodrygo 11 within hours, and sponsorship opportunities are already lining up as brands seek to capitalize on his marketability. Yet, what makes this landing truly special is the timing. Arsenal has been building toward this moment since Arteta took charge. The painful years of near misses, Europa League campaigns, and squad rebuilds were all leading to a summer like this one where the club could finally go toe-to-toe with Europe's elite, not just on the pitch but in the transfer market too. Bringing in Rodrygo is symbolic of Arsenal stepping back into the limelight as a true powerhouse, capable of luring stars who would once have looked only toward Madrid, Barcelona, or Manchester. Rodrygo himself, in his first words to the fans at the Emirates, expressed excitement and humility. He spoke about the passion of the Arsenal supporters, the history of the club, and his admiration for the project Arteta is building. He promised to give everything on the pitch, to fight for titles, and to create memories that the fans would cherish forever. His words, though carefully chosen, struck a chord. For supporters who have endured heartbreaks, near misses, and years of being underestimated, hearing such commitment from a world-class player felt like validation of their loyalty. As night fell over the Emirates, the crowd slowly dispersed, still buzzing from what they had just witnessed. Social media remained ablaze, pundits kept dissecting the implications, and rival fans could only grit their teeth. For Arsenal fans, however, the emotion was clear: hope, belief, and uncontainable excitement. Rodrygo's landing at the Emirates Stadium was not just a transfer unveiling, it was the dawning of a new chapter, a moment that will be remembered in North London for generations. And as the season unfolds, every touch, every dribble, every goal from the Brazilian will be a reminder of that electric day when he first set foot on the Emirates pitch, when Arsenal announced to the world that they are no longer rebuilding, no longer chasing. They are here, they are ready, and they have Rodrygo leading the charge.